Hi guys! As a preface to what we are going to cover in more details in my courses within the Academy Idea School, I thought to reflect on the importance of using references to learn to draw and to help us develop ideas from our imagination. This topic is a little bit taboo for some, but I'd like to break the idea that drawing using references is something like cheating, copying, and therefore being a bad artist. Not at all. In this video, I want to show you completely the opposite by showing you how I use them. The first way I use the references is by basing my drawing on an image, so I can take measurements. Not just that, I can also start capturing and referring to different poses, understand and study color, and analyze lighting. In many cases, what I try to do is create small studies based on a real image, which will then help me understand what combinations are necessary to give the form that I want to, and how I can create a more realistic illustration. This is very useful, especially when I am learning to draw something like anatomy or the muscles, and this can get quite tricky. Ultimately, working from a reference will help me improve the technique. This is what I want you to understand. If you want to see good examples of artists who use references, I do recommend that you go visit websites like ArtStation, DeviantArt, Carano, and many, many more. Not just websites, actually, also apps. There's so much talent on the internet that it is impossible not to be inspired. I'm sure you've heard of the famous mood boards that are super important for artists. I use Miro boards, for example, to create plenty of those. Also, Pinterest, as not only it contains a lot of ideas, but also it allows me to create mood boards as well that I can then export to my desktop and I can share with my students. But beware, whichever tool you're using, always check about the rights. These images must be used only as references and not to be promoted commercially. And if you do, because you want to show your process, please make sure to refer to the owner or the artist. A way to avoid this is by searching for free references on pages like, for example, Pixabay and Splash, Pexels. It's true that these sometimes might limit the search a bit, so I tend to use others that, even though I have to pay for, they help me much more. And yeah, although I won't go into detail, another interesting way to use references is to create textures, understand and give perspective, and create different types of framing and composition. This is mainly to give that narrative to the different elements of our drawings. If you want to know more, I recommend that you visit my website, ideaschool.com. This is just a brief introduction to the use of references, and I hope you found it useful. I'll see you around, and thank you again.